What do you think's going on in the UK economy? Because since the Brexit vote, I've been, same as I was before the Brexit vote, very, very cautious about spending money. In fact, I've become a little more cautious. But the resilience of the British economy, the British consumer, I find there are a lot of questions that I'm asking myself about it. Do you have any answers?
I'll make the attempt. I don't know that all of your countrymen are behaving exactly as you are, because the spending numbers, the business numbers, all of the forecast numbers have improved. The Bank of England actually had to walk back its post-Brexit forecast. It was very, very dark. But there are reasons to be concerned, I think. The first came up in the story earlier. Consumption here in the United Kingdom is about 60% of national income. You do have rising prices, which are reducing real incomes, which usually mean that the spending power is going to be lowered. You have a lot of uncertainty in the business sector that is restricting business investment in advance of looking at location strategies as contingencies, depending on what happens with the Brexit negotiations. You have trade, which is doing reasonably well, but again, those relationships are going to be changing over the next 2 or 3 years. And then you have the government, which is going to be releasing its updated budget tomorrow, is unlikely to add a lot of stimulus to the economy in advance of an uncertain period. So when you begin to add it up, it seems hard to suspect that the British economy is going to continue growing at 2%.
All right.
Inflation moves quickly, doesn't it? I'm just going through the BRC report, and it's saying overall shop prices reported deflation of 1% in February, which is a sharp deceleration from the 1.7% fall in January. So just in the movement of 1 month, you've got a movement of 0.7%. So I think we're not used to this dialogue for so long. We've been talking about deflation on the high street. What happens when it changes and shopkeepers not willing to wear that cost and it's passed on to consumers? What happens at that point, and how do you think people are going to react?
One of the things I always advise is, because the monthly numbers, as all of you know, are so volatile, look at them on a year-on-year basis. But, you know, inflation's one of those phenomena that can kind of chip away, and all of a sudden it breaks through. This happens in the labor markets, which then affect the cost of a lot of goods and services. The question will be how willing shopkeepers are to pass those prices along, and what kind of pricing power they have in a very, very competitive marketplace.
Because we have options these days, right? Like the price comparison sites are there. If you just want to do, say, food shopping, you can compare instantly. It's very different when you're in a shop and you can't be bothered to compare every single product that you put in the trolley. And then it comes to non-food. You've got Amazon and other competitors where you can buy that priced good pretty much at a discount and get delivered the next day.
And I think the other thing you have to recall is that the bigger blocks in the consumer price index are not the things that necessarily we would buy at the market. It's rent, it's healthcare, it's some of the bigger things which are under a lot of pressure in a lot of parts of the world for a lot of the reasons we discussed earlier.